were also honored. The awards encompassed all the departments of the over 2,000-strong staff membership of Arik Air all over the world. Those who have shown committed service to Arik Air over the years were honored. Among the awardees are Arik Air's MD, Mr. Chris Ndulwe, and the chairman of Arik Air, Sir Johnson Arumemi Ikide. The director of Arik Air Limited, Senator Anieto Okon, proposed a toast to Arik Air at 7, which was a very exciting evening, was climaxed with a performance by Timida Kolo and Yinka Anyode.
Reigning monarch in the history of the Ijebu people, and indeed the longest reigning first-class monarch in Nigeria, now in his 56th year on the throne, having been crowned as the 52nd Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland on April 2nd, 1960, in the historic year of Nigeria's independence. Although the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland, His Royal Majesty Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetono, CFR, is the primus inter pares and first citizen of the Ijebu nation, he has been an integral part of the nation's socio-political and economic development because of his abiding commitment, working in tandem with others with like minds to raise the status of Nigeria among the committee of recognizable nations in the world. The Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland commands the respect and adulation of the Ijebus, who are themselves considered as very advanced and industrious people, imbued with incredible entrepreneurial spirit, with many of them occupying the commanding heights in the social, economic, and political spheres of Nigeria. To advance the frontiers of education, which is a proven catalyst to the development of any society, and entrench good governance and leadership qualities in the citizenry, the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland, His Royal Highness Oba Dr. Sikiru Kayode Adetono, CFR, has endowed a professorial chair in governance in the Department of Political Science of Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwe, in Ogun State of Nigeria. It couldn't have been a better time than now to launch this laudable initiative, since most of the problems the country has been grappling with over the years are traceable to the glaring deficits in good governance in all fronts. Once they got the mandate as regards the terms of reference from the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland, Oba Dr. Sikiru Kayode Adetono, CFR, members of the organizing committee, made up of illustrious sons and daughters of Ijebuland, regarded as frontliners in their different areas of calling, led by legal luminaries like Honorable Justice Adeshola Oguntade, CFR, as chairman, Mr. Olatunji Ayonlaja, SAN, as alternate chairman, and members like advertising paysetter Mr. Biodun Shobanjo, with the traditional ruler of Agoiwe, His Royal Majesty Oba Abdurazak Adenugba, the Ebumawe of Agoiwe, and other traditional rulers, and a select few as members. They hit the ground running to prepare for the formal launch of the project, which began with the inaugural lecture and launch of the endowment fund. The event, which took place on Thursday, 10th March 2016, at the Oriental Hotels, Victoria Island, Lagos, attracted a very huge bipartisan attendance of opinion leaders in the different aspects of life across the country, despite the fuel scarcity, the held movement in Lagos by the juggler on that day. As usual, the traditional rulers from different parts of Ijebuland rallied a robust support for the Awujale. Ijebu sons and daughters from different walks of life also galvanized their friends in impressive numbers to the event. The Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, CON, was there to give his royal endorsement to the event. Governor Seriake Dixon of Bayelsa State was also in attendance. Governor Ibikunle Amosun, CON, who is the visitor of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwe, was represented by his deputy, Chief Mrs. Yetunde Ononuga. Heavyweight dignitaries like former governors Olusegun Oshoba and Benga Daniel of Ogun State, Chief Chris Ogunbanjo, Otumba Shubomi Balogun, Dr. Oba Otudeko, CFR, Chief Razak Okoya, Kesinti Nadebutu, and Chief Alex Dudiyemi graced the event with their esteemed presence. The opening remarks given by Mr. Olatunji Ayonlaja, SAN, who is the alternate chairman of the Board of Trustees, further elucidated on the reasons behind the strategic move for the endowment by the Awujale of a professorial chair in governance in the Department of Political Science of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwe, Ogun State.
We, the members of the BOT and the organizing committee, in the propagation and sustenance of the laudable idea behind the endowment of the share, promise to manage the funds of the share only for the institutionalizing the share so as to be able to attract the best brains from any part of the world to occupy it.
Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwe, Ogun State, which ranks among the best universities in Nigeria, opened its doors for academic activities on the 31st of January 1983 for the realization of the teaching, research and community service, producing broadly educated men and women in different disciplines of studies, now in the vanguard of new technological revolution in education. The Vice-Chancellor of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Professor Sabiru Adesanya, who has been in the saddle since 2012 as the Chief Executive of the institution, the Pro-Chancellor and the Chairman of the Governing Council of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwe, Ogun State, Dr. Segun Oshin, gave the perspective of the institution as regards how to successfully bring to fruition the lofty and thoughtful initiative of the Awujale to endow a professorial chair on governance in the Political Science Department of the university, which they regard as further testimony of the Awujale's love for education, good governance, and betterment of the country.
The chair is to research into the Nigerian situation and involve purposeful intervention policies that will allow the Nigerian governing class to learn and conduct governance with honesty, equity, and fair play. African perspective and integrating modern governance into every aspect of Nigerian livelihood. Hence, the occupant of the chair is to be selected periodically.
The Obasikiru Kayode Adetono Professorial Chair in Governance, being inaugurated 26 years after the last in 1990, attests to our commitment to bringing the university to a high level of confidence by the society. The radical reforms and policies of Council, which identifies with a sustainable mission of turning disruption to opportunities by the mentality we hold and the structures we put in place, has contributed positively to the transformation we are all witnessing today.
In the inaugural lecture delivered by Professor Akin Mabuguje, CON, the renowned professor of geography, who has served in many public sector positions in Nigeria and chairman of the Lagos Megacity Development Authority, he posited that the high cost of the presidential system of government, which Nigeria adopted on her return to democracy in 1999, as against the parliamentary system which it operated before, and the mismanagement of the oil resources accumulated over the years during the oil boom days by successive administrations, is a major source of the economic problems besetting the country today. Professor Mabuguje frowned at the imprudent management of resources by those in position of authority as bold pointers to bad governance, which has adversely affected all levels of governance in the country. All these countercultures have become a fertile breeding ground for the cankerworm of corruption, which has eaten very deep into the fabric of the Nigerian society.
Because of the windfall from oil revenue and its own operational structure of a unified command, the military regime transformed this country away from its federal and democratic trajectory of development to where we are today. Secondly, that since the end of the military regime, it is regrettable that our political leaders and various professional groups, particularly the Nigerian Bar Association, have failed the nation in not legally challenging some of the non-democratic distortions to our governance system, especially at the local level. And the third is that unless we seriously revisit these distortions and rectify them appropriately, the nation will continue to be hostage to a dysfunctional and disempowering governance system in this country.
Also contributing to the discussion, which was moderated by veteran journalist Ray Ebu, OON, the former governor of the CBN, now the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, also echoed the views of Professor Mabogunje that the presidential system of government is very expensive and unsustainable. He advocated a stringent cutting down of the number of political offices and appointees so as to reduce to a bearable level the high cost of maintaining the offices, as money saved from such exercise could be used for other people-oriented and developmental purposes.
You sometimes wonder if anyone needs to tell any group of people that if you're a poor country, you do not need 36 governors, 36 deputy governors, each with 30 members of the House of Assembly, each with commissioners, each with advisors, each with special assistants, a president, a vice president, 36 ministers, special advisors, a bicameral federal legislature, and so on and so on.
On his own part, former governor of Ogun State, Chief Olusegun Oshoba, picked holes in what he saw as the fraudulent manner in which some people are elected into office, which he described as a mockery of Nigeria's hard-earned democracy. He advised the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to take a second look at the operations of the card reader to perfect its use in future elections. Former Governor Olusegun Oshoba charged public office holders, especially governors, to endeavor to use the resources allocated to them to better the lot of those who voted them into office to justify the confidence and trust reposed in them.
When governors are elected fraudulently, when local government elections are held and the votes of people don't count, then you get awoof leaders. And that's where the problem starts from. And His Royal Highness Iseoke Kanu has said it. What is the pedigree of those that we elect to be our leaders? What have they done of their life? What have they managed? These are part of the problem that we have in governance.
In his contribution, the convener of the forum, the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetono, CFR, said the issue of governance of the country has been of great concern to him for many years, having been in the saddle for as long as Nigeria's independence, which offers him the rare privilege to make comparisons between what was obtained during the pre-independence era and now.
Politics became petty, dirty, and corrupt. The economy was in shambles, coupled with a decaying infrastructure and the steady decline in the quality of education, among others, while the private sector became a mere onlooker, having been frustrated by we stimulate the next generation, lead this country out of its many intractable problems.
The Awujale also blamed greed, triggered by those who had unfettered access to the government treasury, as the main cause of underdevelopment, which is the major byproduct of bad governance in Nigeria over the years. The Awujale, Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetono, said he decided as a patriotic Nigerian to make a last-ditch intervention to salvage the situation with the endowment of the 250 million naira professorial chair on good governance in political science department of Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwoye. The Awujale hopes that the chair he is endowing at OOU on good governance will encourage the youth to synergize thoughts with the older generation on new areas that will bring about good governance to take Nigeria out of the problem besetting us over the years.
It is therefore my belief that for a lasting solution to these teeming problems, the youth must actively participate and be positively engaged in bringing about good governance, starting now.
The pre-launch address of the endowment was delivered by Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, Chairman, First Bank of Nigeria PLC, also an illustrious daughter of Ijebuland.
For the greatness of a nation, you need governance at every level to work in a particular way. Political governance is only one part of it. There's economic governance, which goes to the private sector, and every level of participation that is involved in the management of the resources of our nation.
The launch of the 250 million naira endowment and fundraising for the professorial chair on good governance, which was the idea of the Awujale, attracted very enthusiastic participation by notable personalities from all sectors of life, the academia, the traditional institution, the private, public and business sectors, as well as the political class. At the end of the day, over 400 million naira was raised, with a lot of pledges outstanding. The address of the visitor of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwe, Governor Ibikunle Amosun of Ogun State, was delivered by his deputy, Chief Mrs. Yetunde Onanuga, who also eulogized the initiator, the Awujale, for the great stride which ties in with one of the 5 cardinal programs of the Amosun administration to rebuild Ogun State. Governor Ibikunle Amosun pledged the assistance of Ogun State government for the successful completion of the project, just as he thanked all those who contributed in cash and kind to the project.
On one hand, this professorial chair in governance would no doubt impact positively on the academic, research, and other knowledge-driven activities of the university. On another hand, it will continue to consolidate the position of the university amongst its peers in Nigeria and beyond the shores of our land.
The vote of thanks was given by Honorable Justice George Adeshola Oguntade, CFR, Chairman of the Organizing Committee of the event, who was surrounded by all the members. The endowment of the professorial chair to promote good governance, virtues and ideals at the Political Science Department of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwe, is a worthy and remarkable step in the continued contribution of the Awujale to the socio-economic, political and educational development of Nigeria.
The Ebumawe of Agoiwe in Ogun State, Oba Abdulrazak Adesina Adenuba, recently rolled out the drums to mark the 10th anniversary of ascending the throne of his forefathers. The series of events lined up to celebrate the 1 decade of Oba Adenuba's peaceful reign as the Ebumawe of Agoiwe kicked off on Sunday, May 11th, 2014, with the royal father playing host to scores of his subjects and dignitaries from all parts of the world. This was at his expansive and magnificent palace in Agoiwe. The hosting no doubt clearly attested to Oba Adenuba's closeness and camaraderie with his people, who showered endless praises on him and prayed for more successful reign for decades to come. On Thursday, May 15, 2014, the royal father, as part of activities lined up to celebrate his 10th anniversary on the throne, conferred chieftaincy titles on deserving individuals who have distinguished themselves in their chosen careers. One of these personalities was the Iyaloja General of Nigeria, Chief Mrs. Folashade Tinubu, who was conferred with the title of Yeye Oloro of Agoiwe. Chief Mrs. Folashade Tinubu, who is the daughter of Nigeria's frontline politician Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. She was accompanied to the ceremony by her husband, Mr. Oyetunji Odo, a member of the House of Representatives from Ekiti State and chairman of the House Committee on Communications. Before decorating the eulogy of Nigeria with the insignia of our title, Oba Adenuga prayed for her to have the grace to continue to live up to the expectations of her new office. Response, Chief Mrs. Tinubu thanked Oba Adenuga for the honor done her. She further prayed that the reign of the Ebumawi will continue to bear good dividends for the people of Agoiwe. She also thanked other traditional rulers who attended the occasion, which was held at the Ebumawi's palace, for their esteemed presence. On a final note, the Eulogy General expressed her appreciation to her husband, Honorable Oyetunji Ojo, for his love and support. It was indeed a happy day for Chief Mrs. Tinubu Ojo, who has successfully stepped into the shoes of her late grandmother, Alhaja Abibat Mogaji, the immediate past Eulogy General of the Federation. The new Yeyolo of Agoiwe was accompanied to the occasion by hundreds of market women who displayed their open love for their leader as they happily sang songs after songs to eulogize her leadership qualities. Later, after the conferment, guests were hosted to a grand reception with the Grand Master of Juju Music, Chief Commander Ebenezer Obey, dishing out the best of Juju music. Before the reception formally kicked off, an opening prayer was offered by Oba Amos Adebajo, the Limeri of Awa. Also during the reception, Award of Excellence was conferred on prominent sons and daughters of Agoiwe. These included well-known businessman Otumba Alex Onobanjo, the Otumba Shakimulu of Agoiwe. The award, made of a garland and a beautiful plaque, was in recognition of his immense support to the Ebumawi of Agoiwe, Oba Abdulrazak Adenuga, and his significant contributions to the development of education in Ogun State. Worthy of mention is Otumba Alex Onobanjo, who is popularly known as Alex O's contribution of over 200 million naira to the development of Ogun State-owned Tai Shulari University of Education, TASUD, which is the first university of education in Nigeria, the second in Africa, and the 8th in the world. Before dedicating his award presented to him by the Dagburo of Idoa, Oba Adekoya, to all the great students of Ogun State, Otumba Alex Onobanjo thanked Oba Adenuga for honoring him and prayed that the Almighty God will continue to strengthen him in the discharge of his onerous duties.
By the special grace of God, this gala, you will always remember it as a memento given to you by Maria of Agogo. Please, that's it. I dedicated this gift of mine to all the great students of Ogun State. Thank you.
Much later, the Ebumawo of Agoiwe, Oba Abdulrazak Adenuba, led other traditional rulers, prominent sons and daughters of the town, including the Ashiwaju of Agoiwe, Senator Jubril Martins Kuye, to the stage to dance to the pulsating beats of Chief Commander Binizobe. While the ceremony lasted, Oba Adenuba played the perfect host as he went around the venue to ensure that his guests were comfortable. The grand finale of the 10th anniversary of the coronation of Oba Abdulrazak Adesina Adenuba held on Sunday, May 18th, 2014. The event, which was held in Agoiwe, formally commenced with an opening prayer said in the Islamic way. Prominent traditional rulers, businessmen, top politicians, respected society men and women, to mention just a few, came all the way to identify and celebrate with Oba Adenuba, whose reign as the Ebumawo of Agoiwe has brought peace, development, and harmony to the town. Some of the personalities include the Deputy Governor of Ogun State himself, a proud son of Agoiwe, Segun Adeshegun, former Governor of Ogun State, Otumba Gbenga Daniel, Senator Olorunimbe Mamora, Senator Olabi Idurojai, Chief Kasintin Adebutu and his beautiful wife Adenike, Chief Mrs. Abba Folayo and her friend Mrs. Onilere, among others. The grand finale also witnessed the launch of a biography on Oba Adenuba titled My Story. The biography of Oba Abdulrazak Adesina Adenuba, the Ebumawo of Agoiwe, was written by Mr. Femi Oduboshe. Also on the occasion, members of the Jebode Club extolled the virtues of Oba Abdulrazak Adenuba. They described him as a handsome monarch with an imposing personality. In rounding up, they sang a jolly good fellow song in Ijebu dialect for the well-loved and respected monarch amid applause from every guest. Adenuba's subjects have for him was in full display as many people in high and low places jostled to have photo and video shots with him. And to say that the Ebumawo was at home with all classes of his people, irrespective of their status, is like stating the obvious. The high point of the occasion was a performance of the King of World Beat, King Sonny Ade, who was on the bandstand. Even the celebrants of Adenuba was not left out in the display of dancing skills, as he, alongside his Oloris, other celebrities present, gyrated to the music of King Sunny Ade, King of World Beat. Congratulations, my dear friend, the digital monarch of our time. This is wishing you all the best. Ibadu Odukonyu. Kadipeluri Kibalakbelese. Àwọn olórí kí wọ́n ṣe máa ṣiṣẹ́ bí. Nigeria's fastest growing telecommunications company, with effective and penetrating inroads in all parts of the country and the West African sub-region, connecting the whole world through its highly sophisticated fiber optic facilities, is one organization which has breasted the tape far ahead of other companies as far as its unflinching commitment to corporate social responsibility is concerned. Indeed, corporate social responsibility activities in which Globalcom's bold imprints are evident are growing in leaps and bounds by the day and fast spreading to more sectors. Globalcom's legendary push in the sports sector is helping to catch football stars of tomorrow from the tender age. The Glo Football Academy places emphasis on balancing education with talent. On the cultural front, Globalcom has over the years sponsored cultural festivals like the Ofala Festival, celebrated by the Onitsha people of Anambra State, Lishabi Festival of the Egba people from Ogun State, the Ojudeba Festival of the Ijabu people also from Ogun State, and the Ekimogun Festival of the people of Ondo Town in Ondo State of Nigeria. Globalcom was also the proud sponsors of the 2012 edition of the Ekimogun Festival, which took place in Ondo Town recently. As it does every year, Globalcom, led by some of its top officials, usually pay homage to the Oshimawe and the paramount ruler of Ondo Kingdom, His Royal Majesty, Oba Dr. Victor Adesimbo Kiladejo. This is for the much-needed blessing. Now here, Globalcom's branded items were given out as gifts and souvenirs. One event that preceded the Ekimogun Festival this year, at which Globalcom played a dominant role, was a brochure and book launch which took place at the Civic Center in Ondo Town. The event was graced by Governor Olusegun Mimiko and his lovely wife, Chief Mrs. Olukemi Mimiko. The magnificent Civic Center in Ondo Town, which has over the years been venue for the Ekimogun Day Festival, was actually built from money contributed by indigenes of Ondo Town at the previous editions of the Ekimogun Festival. This is courtesy the Community Development Appeal Fund, coordinated by Ondo Development Council. At the commencement of the Ekimogun Festival in December 1988, the organizers' mandate included the mobilization of Ondo people towards community development, to recognize and reward Ondo sons and daughters who have achieved excellence in their various endeavors, and to popularize and eventually commercialize some aspects of Ondo culture and tradition for domestic and international export. The Ondo Development Committee, ODC, was conceived as an umbrella body for all Ondo clubs in Ondo Kingdom, Nigeria, and in the diaspora. The most important message at all Ekimogun Festival from the Oshimawe and all well-meaning people of Ondo Town extraction is that they should allow the spirit of love and affection permeate the entire fabric of the state, especially among Ondo people, both here and in the diaspora. The 2012 edition of the Ekimogun Festival, sponsored by Globalcom, afforded the indigenes of the town the opportunity to show their colors and display the type of dressing akin to Ondo people. Ondo men and women looked very colorful as it dazzled in all shades and types of attires, the Songyo, Alari, Ashoki, and others. The major side attractions of the Ekimogun Day Festival included skating, breakdancing by the youths, as well as performances by the Ondo State Cultural Dance Troupe. There was homage paying to the Oshimawe of Ondo by the different age grades and indigents of Ondo town from neighboring communities. There were also those who came from all parts of the country and the world. Also made special presentation like the Glow Golden Trophy, plaques, and cash to key participants and winners of the essay, football, culture, fashion, exhibition, youth carnival, all preceding the 2012 Ekimogun Festival. Indigenous music rendered in the traditional Ondo dialect was thick in the air at this year's Ekimogun Festival. Remark, he welcomed all the sons and daughters of Ondo town who have come for another round of celebration of the Ekimogun Festival Chief Benga Kinawa enjoined other visitors and friends of the people of Ondo Town to make the best of the festive period to forge enduring friendship amongst one another. This, according to him, is the essence of such gatherings.
I take the opportunity of this event to appeal to the consciences of such people who have never made any contribution to the thing, and join us those who are always willing to contribute so that we can raise this kingdom high and high and high. The ODC and the entire people of Ondo Kingdom welcome all our others, theologians, other traditional rulers and peoples of various communities who are attending this festival for the first time. We are particularly happy to welcome our friends from outside the Ondo Kingdom who are here to rejoice with us, stretching their hands of fellowship to us. At the right time, we shall reciprocate.
There was also a special address from the throne by the Oshimawe and paramount ruler of Ondo Kingdom, His Royal Majesty, Oba Dr. Victor Adesimbo Kiladijo. In his address, he thanked all sons and daughters of Ondo Town for their continued interest and love for their place of birth. The monarch congratulated Globacom for its tireless efforts in promoting culture. In Governor Olusegun Mimiko's address, he also thanked Globacom for being in the vanguard of the crusade for promoting the culture and tradition of our people. Governor Olusegun Mimiko heartily congratulated all sons and daughters of Ondo Town on the occasion of another Ekimogun Day festival. He urged them to close ranks and be one. On the part of Ondo State government, he pledged to open his doors to everyone, irrespective of any differences.
Once again, I thank you, Cabis. I thank this company. It is just the beginning. We are going to replicate it in Kisimuka and in Ghana. And I want to assure you, Cabis, that by His grace, we will remain unequivocally committed to serving the greatest interest of the greatest number of our people.
The 2012 Ekimogun Festival was rounded off with a grand performance by King Sonny Ade, himself a proud son of Ondo Town. The special event was attended by Governor Olusegun Mimiko and his wife, top dignitaries of Ondo Town, as well as executives of Globacom, the company that has been breathing life to many people-oriented programs, which have been helping to forge integration among the diverse peoples of Nigeria and the West African sub-region.
Ekimogun Day is a product of, it's a baby of the Ondo Development Committee, a committee set up to bring so many things to Ondo, but specifically to bring all the sons and daughters of Ondo together so that they can deliberate on things that will be of immense benefit to the community. It's also for us to find a way by which we can raise funds for developmental projects in the community. It's also for us to ensure that we remain as a unit, as one indivisible entity. And with all sense of modesty, we have achieved quite a lot as far as that is concerned. The Ekimogun Day started about 25 years ago, and one is proud to say that that Ondo Kingdom actually started it. It is after that that other community now started having their own development, community development days. So we have achieved quite a lot through the Ekimogun Day, and vis-a-vis by virtue of the committed indigenes of this kingdom that are members of the Ondo Development Committee. And like I said, everything revolves around the Odis, around the Oshimawe, through the support of the Oshimawe Council.
The 3-month outing ceremony of the coronation of His Royal Highness Oba Lateef Atonda Abiodun Adams as the monarch of Ikate land in Itire Ikate Council Development Area of Lagos State took place at the National Stadium, Surulere, Lagos on Sunday, the 30th of October 2016. It will be recalled that Oba Lateef Atonda Abiodun Adams received his staff of office and instrument of performance on Sunday, 24th July 2016. Governor Akinwumi Ambode of Lagos State was represented by the Commissioner for Local Government and Community Affairs, Honorable Muslim Folami. With a population of over 2 million people, the areas that form Ikate land include Itire, Ilasamaja, Surulere to the northeast, Igomu to the northwest, and Ikpori. The Aworis are in large concentration in Ikate land. The cosmopolitan nature of Lagos, which is the melting pot of Nigerian languages, has rubbed off on Ikate land, with a high percentage of professionals successfully carrying out their various businesses in the public and private sectors of life. Lagos social establishment stood shoulder to shoulder with Nigeria's ultimate designer, who is married to the founder of the Latris Fabrics, home of the best in fashion. Other dignitaries in attendance at the 3-month outing ceremony of Oba Lateef Atonda Abiodun Adams Akinwumi I, Unikate of Ikate land, were Vice Admiral Jubrila Ayila, former IG Alhaji Musliu Smith, Chief S.O.B. Babalola, as well as members of different clubs to which the royal father belongs. There were presentations by different cultural groups before the conferment of the traditional chieftaincy title of the Yaoba of Ikate land on Chief Mrs. Falashade Risikot, a committed philanthropist who supports physically challenged people.
happy. At least it's the greatest honor that could ever happen to me. I thank God for it. I thank the Kabiyesi of Ikate land to give me this big honor, because really a big honor. I appreciate it and I'll forever be grateful for it, and I'll do my best to make sure that I'll do all I can for Ikate land as a whole.
King of Fuji music, Wasiu Ayinde Marshal, was on the bandstand at the special request of Oba Lateef Atoda Abiodun Adams, the Onikate of Ikate land, who is his great fan. All hail the Onikate of Ikate land, Oba Lateef Atoda Abiodun Adams.
the fact that in this age, occupants of the traditional institutions are usually selected from the very best among equals, who must have also earned such honor through their meritorious service in the public and private sectors, and indeed to their fatherland. The long and meticulous search for the right man for the job has indeed paid off handsomely with the emergence of someone who has met the criteria in contention for the most prized throne in the land. The new Ogoga of Ikere-Ekiti in Ekiti State of Nigeria is His Royal Majesty Oba Adejimi Adu Alagbado. He is well educated, articulate, progressive-minded, dynamic, positively connected, endowed with wisdom and knowledge, good reputation, background antecedents, goodwill, and courage. Oba Adejimi Adu Alagbado is cosmopolitan, urbane, and widely traveled. A successful businessman, the highly revered monarch of Ikere-Ekiti established a sawmill factory in Ikere-Ekiti over 15 years ago, which has provided employment opportunities for many youths in Ikere. Oba Adejimi Adu Alagbado, the Ogoga of Ikere-Ekiti, is a philanthropist who has been involved in development projects in Ikere-Ekiti. He played a significant role in making the final rites of passage given to his predecessor, Oba Samuel Adegoke Akayejo II, a memorable one, even when he did not know that he will eventually succeed Oba Akayejo as the new Ogoga. That's how selfless and generous a person he is. The new Ogoga is a leading player in the different sectors of the economy, maritime, oil and gas, where he sits atop the boards of many companies. After coming out with distinction at the Ekiti Baptist High School, Igede-Ekiti in 1973, there was no looking back for the new Ogoga as he combed the nooks and crannies of the entire world in search of knowledge to properly position him for the challenges ahead. His Royal Highness Oba Adejimi Adu Alagbado holds bachelor's and master's degrees in transport studies from the University of Southampton, United Kingdom, and the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwoye, Ogun State of Nigeria. Oba Adejimi Adu Alagbado, the Ogoga of Ikere-Ekiti, holds a postgraduate degree in maritime law from the London Metropolitan University, London. Oba Adejimi Adu Alagbado was elected and served meritoriously as National President of the Nigerian Association of Master Mariners. It was with pride and absolute joy in their hearts that sons and daughters of Ikere Kingdom, joined by their friends from all parts of the world, converged at the palace of the traditional ruler of Ikere-Ekiti on Saturday, 3rd October 2015 for the coronation anniversary of the ascension to the throne of the new Ogoga, His Royal Majesty Oba Adejimi Adu Alagbado. The day began with the conferment of chieftaincy titles of Ikere Kingdom on personalities who are either indigents of the town or friends of Ikere-Ekiti who have contributed to the growth of the town, Ekiti State, and indeed Nigeria, bringing their expertise in their corridors of influence and areas of core competencies to bear on it. The coronation activities proper took off at the Government College Ikere-Ekiti playground with the launching of the 2 billion naira Ikere Development Fund as the main focus of attention. The brand new monarch of Ikere Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Oba Adejimi Adu Alagbado, who looked exquisitely regal in the full paraphernalia of royalty he adorned, was complimented by his lovely wife, Olori Fumilola Ololade Adejimi Adu, who made a distinct fashion statement with the beads and other accessories she had on. The traditional institution, especially in the southwest of Nigeria, rose up stoutly in solidarity with one of their own to give him a rousing royal welcome to the throne of his forefathers. Right in front was the Alaafin of Oyo and paramount ruler of Oyo Kingdom, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III. The Olugbo of Igbo Kingdom in Ondo State, Oba Enitolorunda Akinrotan, were joined by other traditional rulers, chiefs, and highly placed dignitaries from across and beyond Nigeria. Sons and daughters of the Ikere Kingdom, members of different social clubs in the town, especially the Ikere Development Forum IDF, led by its president, Chief Wole Oladipekun, OFR, SAN, positioned themselves at vantage points in the arena to offer quick and prompt assistance to the guests. The royal host was Oba Samuel Oladapo Oyebode, chairman of Ekiti State Council of Traditional Rulers. Standing tall among all the dignitaries at the coronation of the Ogoga of Ikere Ekiti was the Executive Governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Peter Ayodele Fayoshe, who was ably supported by the Deputy Governor, Dr. Olushola Eleka, as well as members of Ekiti State Executive, Legislature, and Judiciary who attended the event in their numbers. The coronation proceedings were put in motion by the Chairman Coronation Planning Committee, Mr. Laumi Adeyemi, followed by the welcome address by the National President of the Ikere Development Forum, IDF, Chief Wale Oladipekun, OFR SAN, who further elucidated on the journey that led to the selection and coronation of the latest Ogoga in the universe of Samuel Adejumiadu Alagbado. He enjoined all agents of Ikere Ekiti to give the new monarch their unwavering and unflinching support. Chief Oladipekun also asked all Ikere people to pray for their new monarch always.
We are all happy because we are witnessing a new dawn. We are all seeing the opening of a new chapter, the beginning of a new beginning, because our town has a befitting Oba. Our town is now gifted with an Oba that is taller than others, an Oba that is well-read, well-educated. Ikere by every standard is an urban settlement. Therefore, we need somebody that is obeying to be our Oba. Without being immodest, as at the last auditing, we were able to count within our fingertips about 67 professors who are indigenes of Ikere. This town has 23 secondary schools. It has 2 members in the Ekiti State House of Assembly, and it used to have a member in the House of Representatives before, the constituencies were merged together. It's a town that can boast of about 200 lawyers. A town that has produced a justice of the Supreme Court, and that has produced justices of the Court of Appeal, that is still producing justices of that house, justices of the High Court. A town that has several medical doctors, consultants, experts in different areas, call it engineering, architecture, law, education, the cleric. There is not just anybody that can be the Oba of the town. And we have to look for the right peg in the round hole. A round peg in the round hole. A man that we can say the shoes fix and fit. The shoes fix and fit. A man that can lead us to our Canaan. An Oba that we can say, we can beat our chest that yes, this man is not just educated, but is also well-bred.
In his coronation address, the Ogoga of Ikere Kingdom, His Royal Majesty, Oba Samuel Adejumiadu Alagbado, thanked God for making the much-anticipated coronation a reality. He thanked all the people of Ikere Ekiti for the confidence reposed in him, which resulted in his selection to mount the most exalted position, promising to do his best to build on the foundations of his predecessor. He urged everyone to cooperate with him in the march to take Ikere Ekiti to greater heights. by cultural groups which further depict the essence of the culture and tradition of the people of Ikere-Ekiti in the southwest part of Nigeria. There were goodwill messages by traditional rulers which included the Alaafin of Oyo, His Royal Majesty Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III. The event also featured the presentation of a book written on the new monarch titled The Triumph of a Royal Fate, the biography of His Royal Majesty Oba Samuel Adejimi Adu Alagbado, the Ogoga of Ikere-Ekiti. Of the coronation of the Ogoga of Ikere-Ekiti was the launching of a 2 billion naira Ikere Development Fund. Among other things, proceeds generated from the launching will be used to fund the development of Ikere City Master Plan and street naming, establishment of a multifunctional vocational development and training institute, the creation of Ikere Small and Medium-Scale Enterprise Development Scheme, the development of an ultra-modern palace and tourist center, youth development and capacity building, as well as information technology and agricultural development purposes. Sons and daughters of Ikere-Ekiti and their friends made generous donations towards the realization of the fund. In his coronation remarks to the chief host and executive governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Ayodele Fayose, he rejoiced with the people of Ikere-Ekiti on the ascension to the throne of their new monarch and enjoined them to give him their full cooperation and support. Turning to the Ogoga, His Royal Majesty Oba Adejimi Adu Alagbado, he charged him to bring all his connections and goodwill to bear in the development of not just Ikere-Ekiti, but Ekiti State in general. He wished him well and prayed for his success on the throne of his forefathers. Of coronation plaques and gifts dovetailed into the royal dance, which saw the Ogoga, his wife, and monarch colleagues dance to the Miliki song of Chief Commander Ebenezer Obi Fabiyi. The vote of thanks by a representative of the Ogoga in council and closing prayer done with the coronation of Oba Samuel Adejimi Adu Alagbado as the new Ogoga of Ikere-Ekiti land formally ended, as Chief Commander Ebenezer Obi turned on full blast the Miliki melody to which everyone gyrated for a long time. May God grant the Ogoga of Ikere Kingdom good health, wisdom, and long life to lead his people to the promised land. Amen.
Ojudoba Festival, which has over the decades become the most potent platform that brings together sons and daughters of Ijebuland from the length and breadth of Nigeria and other parts of the world under one roof annually, has grown in leaps and bounds in not only the grandiloquence of its planning and execution, but in the value-adding essence to the rich cultural heritage of the Ijebus, which has now become globally acknowledged. The Ojudoba Festival, which has Islamic origin, is today celebrated by all indigents of Ijebuland, irrespective of religious or political affiliations. The Ojudoba Festival also serves as a veritable platform to rally support for the development and advancement of Ijebuland, which is one of the earliest provinces that existed in Nigeria, dating back many centuries ago. The theme of the 2013 Ojudoba Festival is actualizing the creation of Ijebu State in a bid to bring to the consciousness of Nigerians, especially the National Assembly, the earnest yearnings and aspirations of Ijebu people for the creation of Ijebu State. To perhaps ensure that the request for the creation of Ijebu State gets the support of the top hierarchy of the National Assembly before it percolates down the line to other members, organizers of the 2013 Ojudoba Festival followed the lobbying which they started last year with the Senate President David Moore as a special guest of honor at the 2012 edition of the festival to a logical conclusion. This the date by making the Speaker of Nigeria's House of Representatives, the Right Honorable Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, the special guest of honor at the 2013 Ojudoba Festival. Indeed, an ingenious masterstroke by the Awujale Oba Sikiru Adetono aimed at using what we have to get what we need for the ultimate benefit of Ijebus, so to speak. The 2013 Ojudoba Festival lived up to its usual trappings of glamour, top-class fashion, candor, beauty, panache, and style in every respect. Sons and daughters of Ijebuland, representing the different age grades or regberegbes, with a lot of joy and happiness in their hearts to have been part of another Ojudoba Festival, converge at the ultra-modern, expansive Oba Sikiru Adetono Pavilion in Ijebu-Ode for the big celebration. The high point of the Ojudoba Festival every year is a parade of all the age grades or the regberegbes, societies and groups in Ijebuland, with everyone turning out in their most gorgeous attires. And this turned the entire environment into a kaleidoscope of very eye-catching and captivating colors.
1960. 1960. Níjọ́ adáde Àwùjalẹ̀ o, ọjọ́ náà rẹ̀ o bí àná o. Níjọ́ adáde Àwùjalẹ̀ o, ọjọ́ náà rẹ̀ o bí àná o. Ọjọ́ tó bá wá gbàdé, ọjọ́ tó bá wá gbàdé, April 2nd, 1960 o. Gbogbo ọmọ jẹ́ ń bọ́lẹ̀ ń pátápátá nílé lọ́kọ̀ gbogbo wa mú kí. Ọjọ́ tó bá wá gbàdé o, April 2nd, 1960 o. Ọjọ́ tó bá wá gbàdé, ọjọ́ tó bá wá gbàdé, April 2nd, 1960 o. Níjọ́ adáde Àwùjalẹ̀ o, ọjọ́ náà rẹ̀ o bí àná o. Níjọ́ adáde Àwùjalẹ̀ o, ọjọ́ náà rẹ̀ o bí àná o. Ọjọ́ tó bá wá gbàdé, ọjọ́ tó bá wá gbàdé, April 2nd, 1960 o. Gbogbo ọmọ jẹ́ ń bọ́lẹ̀ ń pátápátá nílé lọ́kọ̀ gbogbo wa mú kí. Ọjọ́ tó bá wá gbàdé o, April 2nd, 1960 o. Ọjọ́ tó bá wá gbàdé, ọjọ́ tó bá wá gbàdé, April 2nd, 1960 o. Níjọ́ adáde Àwùjalẹ̀ o, ọjọ́ náà rẹ̀ o bí àná o. Níjọ́ adáde Àwùjalẹ̀ o, ọjọ́ náà rẹ̀ o bí àná o. Ọjọ́ tó bá wá gbàdé, ọjọ́ tó bá wá gbàdé, April 2nd, 1960 o. Gbogbo ọmọ jẹ́ ń bọ́lẹ̀ ń pátápátá nílé lọ́kọ̀ gbogbo wa mú kí.
Other side attractions like traditional performance by drummers and incantation and other activities take center stage, with foreigners who have made the Ojudoba Festival in Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State, a regular yearly tourist attraction as a great part of the celebration. The high point of the exciting parade is the traditional paying of homage to the Awujale of Ijebuland of Baeske Adetono amidst pomp and pageantry. The hallmark of the homage-paying session was when Globacom, the telecommunications giant, led by its top management staff, also joined in receiving blessings and prayers from Oba Eske Adetono. The monarch also thanked Globacom in return for its unrelenting sponsorship of the Ojudoba Festival for many years now. Globacom is the major sponsor of the Ojudoba Festival. It will recall that Globacom, through its chairman, Atuma Dr. Mike Adenuga Jr., contributed massively to the completion of the multi-billion naira ultra-modern pavilion where the Ojudoba Festival takes place today. In fact, all the seats in the massive arena, which are painted in the green traditional colors of Globacom, were donated by Globacom. There can't certainly be a better way to give back to the society that gave Otumba Dr. Mike Adenuga Jr. GCON who is a bona fide son of Ijebuland, the right grounding early in life to become one of the most influential personalities in the world today. It is pertinent to state that apart from the Ojudoba Festival, which Globacom has sponsored for many years, Globacom sponsors other festivals like Lishabi Festival of the Ebaz, the Ekimogo Festival of Ondo people, and the Ofala Festival of Onisha people. This Globacom does in its effort to help the different communities across the country connect with their roots and also celebrate the rich cultural heritage of the Nigerian people. In his remarks at the very exciting 2013 Ojudoba Festival, the Awujale of Ijebuland, His Royal Majesty Oba Eskedetono, CFR, once again reminded everyone of the request of Ijebu people for a state of their own. The Awujale commented on some issues like corruption, kidnapping, armed robbery, and unemployment, which he asked the federal government to fix to put the condition of the country in a better state.
We are once again gathered in the magnificent edifice for yet another Ojudoba Festival. Ojudoba Festival, as you are all aware, is an important event in our community as a people, being the only festival of its type celebrated in southwest Nigeria by all and also and sundry without religious barrier and bequeathed to us by our forefathers centuries ago. Our Ojudoba has been greatly transformed in dimension, quality, and popularity. This transformation we owe to our major sponsor, Otuba Mike Adenuga, and his company, Globacom. Our annual Ojudoba Festival, since the past 8 years, continued to enjoy tremendous patronage each year from Otumba Mike Adenuga.
Governor Bikule Amosu heartily congratulated the Awujale of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Adetono, and all sons and daughters of Ijebuland for the success of hosting the festival year in, year out. Governor Amosu said that the Ojudoba Festival has raised the profile of Ogun State to one of the most significant tourist destinations in Nigeria, Africa, and indeed the world today, providing, by extension, employment opportunities and the avenue to bond among people from different parts of the world. Governor Amosu also gave an assurance that his government will continue to support the Ijebus in their justified request for the creation of Ijebu State, because Ijebu people have all it takes in terms of both human and natural resources to take care of the state.
The festival affords Ijebuland a unique opportunity to display its legendary hospitality and enviable tradition to the national audience and the global community. Such is the renowned yearly fiesta that has over the years emerged as one of the frontline events in the cultural calendar of not just Ogun State, not just the southwest region of Nigeria, but indeed the nation. The fact that the event in recent years is chaired by national leaders is another indication of how the festival has become a symbol of national unity. Last year we had the Senate President with us. This year we have the opportunity and privilege of having the Speaker of the House of Representatives. More importantly, you will agree with me that Ijebuland occupies a very important place in the agenda from promoting tourism in Ogun State, and the reason for this is quite obvious. Ijebuland is home to very interesting historic sites as well as unique tradition and customs, of which Ojudoba Festival is one. This is Ogun State, and because our Ijebu State is knowing, we must make sure that Ijebu Ode and its environ, all the local governments in the Ogun East Senatorial District are prepared and ready for that mega city, capital city status. So I as a person and we as a government, as an administration, it will be our pleasure to have even more than Ijebu State alone. If we can change Ogun State, split Ogun State into 3, it will bring development, it will be to our advantage. So, as the team of this Ojudioba, I want to assure you that I concur and that Ijebu State must happen knowing.
The Speaker of Nigeria's House of Representatives, Honorable Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, who had earlier been honored as a special guest of honor at the 2013 Ojudioba Festival, congratulated the Awujale and the entire people of Ijebuland at home and abroad for this year's festival. Mr. Speaker said he was one with the Ijebu people in their just quest for the creation of Ijebu State, and therefore ready to throw his weight behind the creation of Ijebu State once all the T's have been crossed and all the I's dotted. He praised the Ijebu people for the great concept behind Ojudioba Festival, which helps to build a bridge of understanding and cooperation among different peoples of the world.
Ogun State has provided many leaders for this country. So many of your daughters and sons have played significant roles in the lives of this country, and we appreciate the contribution of Ogun State to the development and stability of Nigeria. On what had been recorded from beginning to the last speaker, the governor of Ogun State, the issue of Ijebu State, my Oga at the top, as it was, our Senate President was here last year, I'm told that he gave you some assurances on our collective behalf. Let me place it on record that there is no member of National Assembly that is averse to state creation. We are there to represent our people and will surely support whatever our people desire and whatever our people want. The Constitution has provided for a procedure to be followed for a state to be created. I will therefore commend to the people of Ijebuland to follow that procedure once again, and by the time the process gets to the National Assembly, I assure you by the grace of God, you shall have our collective support. From what I have seen, from what I have heard of the history of Ijebuland, you can sustain a viable state. I believe in that. Therefore, you can take it to the bank that you have my support when the time comes for Ijebu State to be created. Ijebu State, Ijebu State, Ijebu State.
Bayelsa State Governor Honorable Barrister Sirieke Dixon, whose great-grandmother is said to be a descendant of Ijebuland, was also honored at the 2013 Ojudioba Festival. The governor, who was unavoidably unavailable at the great event, was represented by the Secretary to the Government of Bayelsa State and a rich retinue of Bayelsa State government officials. The very exciting and colorful 2013 Ojudioba Festival ended with the presentation of trophies to winners of the competition among the different age grades and horse riders. The winners went home with cash prizes courtesy Globacom, the major sponsor of the Ojudioba Festival. The major winners in the different age grades included Egbe Bobagunte 1959. The age grade of the Awujale, Egbe Mafowoku, came second, and the third position went to Egbe Arobayo 1968 to 71. In the female category, Egbe Jagumolu Original came first, while Egbe Bobake Double T came second, and another Bobake group, the Surakat group, came third. From the Balogun horse rider families, the Otun Balogun of Ijebuland, Chief Agbola Alausa, claimed the first position, while Balogun Adesoye came second. While we heartily congratulate all Ijebus at home and abroad on the success of the 2013 edition of the Ojudioba Festival, we look forward most eagerly to the 2014 edition of the Ojudioba Festival, which we pray will meet all of us in very good health.
It's one of the avenues of bringing together all of the sons and daughters of Ijebuland. Once in a year, we come around, we do everything to bring about the glorification of our culture so that people can know what our culture stands for. We are here to celebrate with the Awujale. We are paying our yearly homage to our Kabesi, Yalailua, Annually, the turnout has increased. We are talking about millions and millions of people glued up on 2 days after Ileya Festival to celebrate this occasion.
From the stable of Biscon Communications, producers of the Bisiola Chile Show, Nigeria's #1 general interest magazine show, comes BOS International Magazine. With BOS International Magazine, you can now enjoy the best of two worlds with Biscon Communications, the emerging media conglomerate. BOS International Magazine keeps you constantly in touch with events on the social scene as they happen, global news, politics, sports, special interviews, fashion and style, and essential tips about life and living. BOS International Magazine is a complete package of entertainment and education at your doorsteps. Ask your vendor for a copy today. We welcome distributors across the country. The Methodist Church of Nigeria conducted its recognition of service and award of merit to some of the deserving members of the Methodist Church of the Trinity, Tinubu, Lagos, on Sunday, 24th March 2013. Sir Olu Okewo, Chairman, CEO, Gibraltar Group Nigeria Limited, was inducted as a Knight of Johnson Wesley by the Prelate of the Methodist Church of Nigeria, His Eminence Dr. Sunday Olamakinde, CON. It's instructive to note that this spiritually significant event coincided with Palm Sunday this year. Chief Olu Okewo was born into a devout Christian family. His parents, the late Sir Taiwo Okewo and Lady Grace Adeshola Okewo, served meritoriously at the St. Paul's Anglican Church in Remo, Ijebu-Ode, before they joined the Saints Triumphant at the end of their glorious days on earth. In fact, Sir Olu Okewo's father, late Sir Taiwo Okewo of the Obaruwa royal family, was a choir master emeritus of the Methodist Church, was given the title of Baba Ijo of St. Paul's Iremo and Knight of John Wesley. Sir Olu Okewo studied medical technology at the University of Innsbruck, Austria, and later went on to do medicine in the Dominican Republic. He has been conferred with 2 honorary doctorate degrees by foreign universities. Sir Olu Okewo is also multilingual, very much at home with foreign languages like Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Dutch, and so on. Sir Olu Okewo, like his father, the late Sir Taiwo Okewo, has served the church to the best of his abilities. He has on various occasions donated parcels of land for church buildings. In fact, he is currently developing one in Ijebu-Ode. Sir Olu Okewo has also provided scholarship for the less privileged youths of the church. Sir Olu Okewo single-handedly renovated the prelate's office at Wesley House. His love for music motivated him to form an orchestra, the Gibraltar Orchestra. Sir Olu Okewo has remained a chorister in the church for over 25 years now, with matchless dexterity on the piano or organ. A man devoted to his faith through worship and abiding commitment to God. Sir Olu Okewo is a grand patron of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Lagos State Chapter, a patron of numerous other societies, including the Young Men Christian Association, Young Women's Christian Association, Christian Ladies League, Helpers Union, and Boys Brigade of Nigeria. Chief Olu Okewo was traveling, landscaping, architectural simulations, and interior enhancements as his hobbies, together with his lovely wife, are blessed with 3 children. Starting with the processional hymns, the church service went underway with the declaration of purpose and the opening prayers. The recipients of the recognition of service and award of merit, among them Sir Olu Okewo, were presented by the secretary of the conference. This was followed by the examination of the recipients. The consecration of the robes and insignia of office was followed by the decoration of the recipients. Prayers were said for them afterwards. this sermon, the Right Reverend Michael O. Akinwale, while stressing the essence of Palm Sunday, proclaimed the goodness of God, who sent his only begotten Son to come and pay the price for our salvation. On the theme of the sermon, which is, what if God has not been on our side, the Right Reverend Michael Akinwale cited Psalm 124, starting from verses 1, where he used the faithfulness of King David to demonstrate the abiding guidance, protection, and grace of God in the life of the faithful. The choir rendered many soul-inspiring songs in the course of the service.